Hi everybody, this is Cameron Mall, and today I just kind of wanted to walk you all through my educational technology portfolio. I wanted to start by doing so by talking about like what educational technology is to me. Educational technology is really any piece of technology which could be uh, different software, electronic devices, just general things that improve and enhance the quality of student learning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through a couple of examples of some different educational technology that I have personally used. Um, but first, would like to kind of discuss the ISTE standards. Um, these standards for technology and education can be broken down into these 7 standards: learner, leader, citizen, collaborator, designer, facilitator, analyst. Now, these are all the standards for the educator and the teachers. These are all meant to be what we as teachers are going to want to set for ourselves when we use this different technology in our classrooms, so that we can teach our students like how they can use these different technologies in and outside of the classroom setting, to just enhance their own education. I'm going into the actual tools themselves. Going to look at some of the presentation tools. First, we're going to look at Pictochart. Now, Pictochart is a free-to-use application that is used to create infographics, presentation, reports, and posters. It is a free-to-use software that allows students, it gives students access to a vast number of free templates, and image and music assets. So everything in Pictochat that is used in Pictochat is in the Creative Commons and is free to use. So that way no one has to worry about copyright infringement. It's all licensed under the free account, which is very important, because we want students to learn, because it's something that students will have to learn eventually, is that they're not going to be able to just use any image they want. We're going to have to actually teach them that there are legal and ethical processes when creating these sort of applications. This is an example of something created in Pictochart. This is a infographic that I created discussing virtual reality in a classroom, which is just another form of technology. I wanted to talk about like what VR was and the different ways that it can be used to improve education, including distance learning, student engagement, and in special education. Distance learning, I've found many software for virtual learning. The one I like to talk about here was called Engage, which is a virtual classroom that allowed students to basically be back in a classroom in a virtual setting, but still be able to interact and basically get that feel of being in a classroom again, even if they are at home. And you can use this with VR headsets. You don't have to. I just thought it was very interesting. AVR lets students, be a lot more hands-on with their, let them be a lot more hands-on with their learning. Gets them more engaged. It can actually be has a lot of really good special educational purposes. Which so basically giving students with more physical and mental disabilities a chance to get a bit of more of a fair education, give them a little more control. So this is an example of something that was created in Pictochart. Next, I'd like to look at some screencast tools. Currently, right now, I'm using, for this presentation, I am using the Screencast-O-Matic, which is another free software that will allow me to basically capture what is being shown on my screen. It is free. There are paid subscriptions, as do all of these, including Loom and Screencastify. Screenomatic currently is, I think, the best of them all. All three do comply with COPPA and FERPA guidelines. So student and child privacy is a very high importance to all three of these softwares, which is very important, especially in a school setting. Screencast-O-Matic specifically has a very large integration capability with other software, so it'll be great for using things like the SAMR model and other. So we'd be able to use this to create videos, which then we would be able to use maybe some of the discussion tools that I'll talk about in a little bit here to have students comment and have more discussions on other videos and projects. Looking at some assessment tools, I have right here I have EdPuzzle and Kahoot. Now, EdPuzzle is a free-to-use presentation tool that can allow students to students or teachers. Teachers, I think, this would actually work really great for. Let them pre-record lectures or take pre-existing videos, such as the one I have here on the side here, talking about Greek mythology, and will allow them to embed some assessment questions throughout the entirety of the presentation. Now, Kahoot is also a free-to-use assessment tool. It's a very fun website that'll get students a little more involved and adds a bit more competition to the classroom. It's an online quiz tool which will pit students against each other to get the most points from answering questions correctly in the quickest amount of time. Feel free, if you're on the website, feel free to check out my quiz here on World War II. This is just a small example. For discussion tools, I have VoiceThread. Now this is on the right here. This is an example of a VoiceThread discussion where the class I was currently in, we did our introduction at the beginning of the semester, did our icebreakers, and this gives students a bit more of an engaging opportunity to actually have these discussions. They'll be able to physically be able to see people through webcam. You don't have to use webcam. You can just use voice recordings, which I feel can help get students more of, especially in these pandemic times where virtual learning is very important and you don't really get the face-to-face opportunities anymore. But that is pretty much all that I had for my technology portfolio. Thank you guys very much. I hope everyone has a great time. Thank you.